So last session we were just talking about the external, how to use external scripts. So that we'll discuss again how to use external scripts. We'll talk about that one. Now let's move on with what you call the arrays. Now, what do you mean by array? Why do we use the arrays means? Let's see that. Let's talk about the arrays. So we have something what you call the array. So what do you mean by array means? Array is nothing but it is a set of elements or what you call set of values. You call them as also we call them a data. Some set of data is what you call an array, or people also call it a collection. We have a set of values, right? It's what you call an array for us. Now, why do we use this array? So we use arrays to store more than one value in a variable. So we have a variable. Generally, let us say that you're going to have a variable called a. You can put only one value into this one. We'll take one better example. Let us say we have an example now. I want to store marks of a student. Now let us say I want to store the marks of a student in 6 subjects. I want to do it. Right? I want to store the marks of a student in 6 subjects. Then what is a simple method for me? The simple way of doing thing is, so I have 6 variables. I'll take the variables like M1, one subject, M2, another subject, M3, another subject, M4, M5, and the other one is M6. So 6 variables I'll be defining it to store 6 values. That is the 6 marks I want to do it. This method, it is okay if you are going to have 3 subjects or 6 subjects. Now let us say that you are having some 15 subjects are there. You want to store the data of 15 subjects. Or let us say, we'll take the alternate. Now, instead of using these 6 variables, what we do is, what is the alternate is, the alternate we have is, we use arrays there. Now, how I'm going to do it using arrays? So what I do is, I'll take only one variable, I'll take it, where I define that it's going to have 6 values for me. I'll say my array is having 6 values, 1, 2, 3, 4. 6 values I'll be putting it, right? So I'm not giving any values there. I've just given it as blank over there. Now, so this will help me to store 6 values. The advantage, what is an advantage of using this one means, what is an advantage for me is, so we have less code will be there for us. We have the less code to process all this. Not only the less code we have it, we also have what we can use. Only one variable can be used to access the multiple values, right? We use one variable to access multiple values. Now then what I do, how we define this arrays in our JavaScript is, to define the arrays. To define the arrays, what we do is, we have many ways are there. So what you do is, you take some variable name. I'll be using some variable name is equal to, open the box bracket and leave it. Okay, you can just define the set of values. What are the values you want it? Like for example, I can have some values like this. I can have some values on this, right? Or what we can do is, we can use variable name is equal to array of, we can give the values. What are the values you want to have it? We can use array there. So like this, we can make sure the arrays can be defined. So for defining, when you want to have some set of values or to be stored, you can use them. Right. Now, one has to remember that when you talk about the arrays, arrays are the objects are defined as objects in our JavaScript. So what do you mean by saying that they are defined as objects means they have a built-in property. Okay, we have a built-in property called length. We have a built-in property called length. So what is this property called length mean? This returns or this gives me the number of values. The number of values in the object, that is in the array. Okay, this returns me how many values are there in my array for us. We'll take one example and we'll discuss more on that. I've taken a blank page. So this is my page which talks about the arrays. So I'll give the title as arrays demo. I'm giving it. Here I'll define the script. So in the script, I want some variable name to be defined. So I'll take a variable called num. I'll just say it's equal to, I'll open the box bracket. Now this variable called num, I want to use it for storing 5 values. I want to store it. Then, so I'm using 5 values. I'm storing into it 3, 4, 5 values I'm storing into it. Now you want to print the values from the array. So what you can do is you can take a for loop can be used for printing all the, okay, before that we'll discuss. Now, how do I access the elements of the array is to access the elements, okay, of the array, that is the values in my array. So we use the index values, the index position is used. Okay, we use the index position. How it is, for example, if I want to get the element for the first element, now I want to get it. So I'll say enum of 0, I'll be using it, right? So let us print this onto screen. So I'll use document object dot write line dot write. So enum of 0 I'm writing. So when you say enum of 0, so here this is going to get me the first element, get the data from first element. Like this, you want to get the data from the second element, you want to get it. So you'll be using index position of 1, you'll be using it. Now let us say you want to get the data from the fifth element, you want to get it, then you'll be using 4, you'll be using it. So this is going to get me the data from the second element. So this is going to get me the data from the fifth element for me. Okay, right, let's see how they're going to print for me. I'll just save them. Right, I've saved it. I'll go to the browser. I'll just open the file. So I'm opening my file C2 there, and then I say open. Now you see that the values are printed for me next to next. If I want to print them in the next line, so we can call the BR tag can be attached to this. So at the end of the output, you're going to add the BR tag. So plus BR I'm using it so that it prints me the new line character. After the output is being printed, it is going to add the new line character. I'll just save this. So that is when I see the output is be getting its 90, 56 and 47, you're going to get it. Okay. So I'm getting 3 values there. So if you look in, so this is my first element value, second element, third, fourth and fifth. Now it's going to be, so you can see 47 is going to be there. I'll show you. We can see this is my array. So what we have defined. So this is going to be the value from my element number 1. That is my index position 0. This is, so this one is there. So this is from my index position 1. Now you see this value is going to be my index position 1 for me. Now this is 0, 1 index, 2 index, 3, and this is my index number 4. This is my fifth element. Now that is what I'm giving the num of 4 when I say this. Okay, that is 47 for me. So this is going to give me the index value from the 4th position now for me. Understood? So that's how we are going to get them. Okay. Now, if I want to know how many values are there, right, then what we can do is, so if I want to find out how many elements are there, so we can write that. So length of the element array we can find out. So I'll use the length of the array I want to find out. Length of the array. So I want to print the length of the array. So then what I'm doing, so the num object, the variable what you have defined there, dot length I'm writing. Dot length I'm writing. Save this. Go refresh the page. Now you can see the length of the array is 5 it is. Right? That's what you see, the length of the array, num dot length when I'm calling it. So this is going to be the length of my array, num dot length when I say, it's going to give me how many elements are there in my array, it is going to return me that. So that is the property. This is what you call the property called a length property. Okay. Now, one good thing in our JavaScript is the length of the array can be changed. You can increase or decrease the length. So for example, I'm having only 5 elements are there. So I want to increase the length now. So what you can do, the object, what is that we are giving, num dot length length is equal to, I'll make the length is equal to 100. Okay, I can make the length is equal to 100 there. And once I make the element, the length is equal to 100, so it's going to increase the length for me. After the increment, you'll see what is going to be there for me. I'll just refresh this page. Now you see the length is 100 now. Understood now? So we are going to get the length of the array as 100. Now, if I want to know what is the element are there for me at the position number 99, then let's see this part. So I want to get the element now from the 99th element. So this is my element now. Okay, anything. So 90 or 99. So I want to get the data from the 90th element. Okay, let's see what is going to be printed for me. So to have the understanding, so what I do is I'll also add, so index 90 value. And I'll just save this. Let us see what is going to print. Now you see that it is undefined, it says. So you remember when in our JavaScript, whenever you're going to declare a variable, the variable will have a value is going to be what? Undefined value to be there for us in the arrays. Oh, sorry, not the arrays, in normal variables. The values will be undefined like that. So here when I'm going to define the length as 100, I have defined the length and the values are not there. So default what is going to happen? It's going to take the values as undefined values will be taken there in the values there. Okay, right, that's you need to you can remember that the length property, so the property which you're going to have the length, the property length can be increased or decreased, can be changed, can be modified. Okay, can be modified in code for us, right? Okay, the length can be modified or it can be modified. It means you can increase it or you can decrease the length of it like that. So okay. So if I want to print all the values from my array, so what I can do is I can make as a for loop can be used. So if I want to access all the elements, so to print all the elements, we can use a for loop. We can use a for loop to print all the elements. How it is? So you start a loop now. Some index value you take, some variable, I'll take the index n is equal to 0. So while n is less than the num that is the length of my array dot length semicolon n plus plus. Then you can now print the values. You can just call the document object dot write. Then the num, what is you're taking the variable as num there of, and you can write there. So it's going to print me all the values one by one values are going to be printed there. So let's see the same thing. I want to print all the values. Just so I want to print all the values. So let's write a loop now to print all the values from the array. One loop will be writing it where I want to print all the values. I have defined 5 values in my array. I want to print all the values. Okay. So it's a loop to print all values. So I'll write a for loop. Some variable you can take it, not necessarily be the variable called n or n, whatever it is. I'll take now the variable called x now. So where x is equal to 0. So where x is less than, so how many elements are there for me? Manual I can count, it is 5 values. So less than 5 semicolon x plus plus, it's going to increment the value there. Then I can call the document object dot write. I'm calling, when I say write, it's going to print me the value there from my array. Write. Then so the variable name is num of x I'm writing. So when I say num of x, it's going to print me the value from the position. We know that we are going to start with the x value is going to start with 0. So when I say num of x, it's going to take num of 0 value. Then num of 1, num of 2, 3, 4, like that. It's going to print me all the values are going to be printed for me on screen. This is one method loop. So I'll just refresh the output. Now you can see it's going to print me all the values from my array. You can see all the values are going to be printed. Now if I want to print the index there, okay, let me print the index also. So it's an index. I want to print the value x there. So what is going to happen now there? So it's going to print me the index 0. So num of 0 value will be printed. So index 0, right? So this is going to be my array with 5 values. Now I'm trying to print the value of x there. So we know that the x value starts with 0 to less than 5. So now this is going to be my 0 position. So it's going to get me the 0 value. This is my 0 index position. So 1, 2, like that. So this is going to be my fourth index number 4 for me, the position 4 there. So you can see now it's going to print me the x value is going to be incremented plus 1 for me, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 it is going to be. Now you see that the last value is going to be the number of 4, it's going to be, this is going to be, so 47 value is going to be printed from. So what if any duplicate values are there? No issues, it will be taken care of. The duplicate values also will be printed for you. So this is one method how you print all the values there from the array. Okay. There is an alternate method. I'll do one thing. I'll just copy this. The script part I'll copy. So this is one method. Manually, you can count how many elements are there and you can do it. Or, so I don't want to count how many elements are there. I want automatically JavaScript to take care of how many elements are there. I'll say num dot length. I'll be writing it. When I say num dot length, it will automatically count how many values are there. It will be taking care of it by itself because we are using there the property called length property I'm using. Now you can see the same output you're going to get. But only thing is what here we are not telling what is the number of values. We are not counting how many values are there. We are asking JavaScript itself to find out how many elements are there in it, and that's going to print for me, right? So this is how we are going to use the length property. We are going to use it, right? Okay. Remember, these arrays and all will be very helpful for you whenever you want to have some data to be stored. So where you have some multiple data to be stored, like for example, you want to store the data of a salesman. So you want to store the data for 100 salesman data, you want to store it. So what are the sales information, or you want to have the employees data, like you're having 100 employees are there. each employee basic salary you want to store. Then what you can do, you can make use of an array can be made use of, and you can put all the values into the array, and whatever maybe the manipulations you want to do it, you can do the manipulations. Like you want to find out the what is the maximum salary, what is the minimum salary you want to find out, that can be done using the arrays can be done there. Or you want to have some arrangement of data to be done, like for example you want to arrange them in the alphabetical, I mean names are there, so I want to arrange the names in alphabetical order, I want to do it. Then so we have the concept of what you call mm, what is called the sorting of the arrays can be made use of. We can call the sorting of the arrays can be done, right? If you want to do the sorting of the arrays can be, I mean, then so if you want to sort the arrays, if we want to sort the arrays, what we can do is we have the array dot sort can be called in. So when I call the array dot sort, it is going to do the sorting of the elements are going to be done. So let us see how to do the sorting of elements. So these are my original values. So I'll not use the br tag there. I'll just print the values next to next. I'm just asking to print the values next to next. Okay, so let's see what is going to print it. In the output, we are going to use a space is going to be used. So what happens? All the values will be printed side by side for me. Then okay. Now I want to arrange the elements in an order, right? Then what I do is I'll call the array. So now I want to print the sorted elements. So you can see now the data is going to be sorted for me. So just what I'm doing, I'm calling a method array.sort, I'm calling it. That is the array name dot sort method I'm using it. So this is going to do the sorting of elements are going to be done. So by default, it's going to do me the ascending order, it's going to do it for me. Okay, like that. So sorting can be done using the sort. You can call the array.sort and you can do the sorting. Sorting can be done using the sort method can be called it for doing the sorting of elements. In arrays, what we have is we have some methods are going to be there, like push method is going to be there, which will help me to add the elements onto an array. So whenever you want to add an element, if you want to if you want the elements to be I was telling, okay, you want to add the elements onto the array. So for that, what you can do is we can use push method can be called in, so that new elements can be added onto the array. Like that, if you want to remove the elements from the array, remember we have two methods. One is called the push method. Push adds what you call it, appends the element. Okay, at the end of the array. Similarly, we have one method called pop. So what is this pop? It removes the element from the end of the array. It removes the elements from the end. So pop and push, we have two options. Push, it will add at the end. Pop will remove from the end. We'll take that. We'll see that example. So for example, here I'm having what, only some 5 elements are there for me. So I want to have one more element to be added onto my array. So what I do is I'll say the array num dot push I'm calling it, and then I'm giving a value 100, I'm adding it there. So let's see this one more I want to push. I'll just push one other value. So 90 I will push one more value. Now I want to print the how many elements are there after adding those two. So I want to see now what are the values are going to be there. Okay, let's see them. I have added two values there. Push, I have called the method. I have called the push method. So push 100, I'm calling it. Push 90, I'm calling. So when I say push 190 there, so then what happened? This 100 is added after the 47, and this 90 is added after adding 100. So next to 100, it will add now 90. It's going to add. That's what you can see now. The 190 values are going to be added at the end of the array there. Right. Now I can also use another method called pop method can be used. When I'm using pop method, the elements will be removed from the last. Right. Now let us see that one. So we'll use the pop, we'll use. Now here it's going to do with addition it is. Now I want to use the pop now. So num dot pop I'm using. Okay, one value, two values, three values I'm popping it out. Okay. So I'm trying to pop off. Now when I say pop, first it should pop off for me 90. Again, when I pop off, it should pop off 100. So one more time when I pop off, the value is 47 for me, right? So if I want to print the value which is being popped off, okay, then you can call the document object dot write you can use, and you can just say that it's going to tell me the value that is popped off for me. Okay, the first pop-off is 90, the second pop-off is 100, the last third one is going to be 47 pop-off. I'll just remove this. Yeah. Now let's save this. And then I want to print the new value, set of values there in my array. What are they? Let us see what are the new values are there for me in my array. So after pop-off, new values. Whatever call, okay, let me call leftover values now. Leftover values after the pop-up. After pop, right? Save. Now you see the first element it's going to be popped is 90 from the right for me. So then 100, then 47. This is popped off. 47 is popped off from my array. This is the one, sorry, this is my array. So 47 is the last one which has been popped off for me. Then what are the leftover values for me when I'm printing over there? So you see that the initial values are 90, 56, 45, 35, and 47. So we have popped off three values we have popped. So leftover values are only 4 for me there, right? Like that. So you can make it so the pop and push functions can be made use of. They are like the push and pop functions are something like what you call they're the operations which are going performing on what you call the stack, we call it as. Okay. Okay. So we are talking about the push and pop options. So when you say push, it's going to add all the values there. So when I say pop off, it's going to remove the values from my array there. So that's how you can make the push and pop can be made use of. Okay.